Hello and welcome to the Clip It podcast, your one-stop shop for nothing. This intro is recorded slightly after the main podcast because I completely forgot to actually do one then. To be completely honest, I was embarrassed in front of my girlfriend. I'm always underperforming in front of her, so take that as you will. But it was an interesting one nonetheless. I really enjoyed the podcast and I hope you all do too. We got some old faces on, which is wonderful. We were joined by Agent Oink, Delicious, and Melody Manor. It has been a very long time since we've all had them on, and you know what? It was an absolute pleasure as always. Now, this is the first episode that is pre-recorded and not live-streamed to my channel. This is a little weird for me, but overall I'm super excited to see how these go. It allows me to be a bit more creative and potentially do some on-location shoots in the near future. So yes, I hope you do enjoy it. If you want to recommend anybody you want to see on the podcast, do leave them in the comments. I'm looking to get It's Maxim, Toby PSG, Keps, or Not My Tea back on at some point, and maybe some new faces. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, do enjoy the show, and as always, have a good evening, good day, good night, or good morning, and we'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra.
Topics?
No.
We could make a podcast about coming up with podcast topics.
We could actually. You know what, sod it, we will. You know what, let's just start the podcast like this now, and we're just going to talk about topics.
Podcast has started. You did the intro.
Yeah, we did. We did the intro. You can clearly tell we're started because
Actually, I should be. I'll be like 20 seconds.
Turns off webcam. How are we all doing today? I'll ask Alfie when he gets back.
Okay, 20 was an exaggeration.
Okay, how are we all doing today?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Don't tell me you just started.
No, yeah, we started.
Okay, well.
Legitimately started or started?
We legitimately started.
Okay, well, so be it.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I know, it was a choice that I'm not sure anyone agreed with.
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to start us off by apologising for my lack of webcam. I was not aware that this many people would be doing that.
I wasn't aware I'd be doing it.
I wasn't either.
Well, I mean, you've not been working all day. You've had time to get something set up. I got home from work, and then we were delayed by an hour, so who knows? I probably could have done something in that hour.
It's true, yeah. It doesn't matter. Look, it's good. What's the most important part is it's good having you all on it. It's been a very long time since
I wasn't even invited last time.
You were. It's been
no, I was not. I knew you were going to say I was.
I have
I
a
was not.
DM to prove it.
Go for it. I didn't see this DM.
Like, I would be betting on your side here, Phelan. I got to be honest.
But no, it has been an extremely long time since I've had you two on. It's been at least four episodes. So that's about 4 months.
I thought you can say 4 years.
But
it's been 84 years.
But no, genuinely, it's been about a year since I've had Cass on. I think Cass was on the last one Cass you were on wasn't. Fuck, that was a sentence. Was the first podcast, if I'm not wrong, when you did my makeup. We need to do that again.
Well, last time I touched anywhere near your eyebrows, you're like, no, I've got PTSD.
That's true. Someone donated a tenner and I gave it back to them because I felt bad.
God's sake.
I knew the person, so...
So an interesting thing about this podcast is obviously that we're recording in advance, right?
Yes. I'm probably going to
than,
try and get a couple episodes done before I upload this one.
We've had some troubles.
I finally have a duck egg on Stardew. I can now get a greenhouse.
We've had some troubles for a while, haven't we? Like scheduling and numerous other things. That's caused us quite a few problems. Yeah. So it's been kind of awkward to get podcasts done. So this should hopefully make it a bit more easy for us. But the key thing that is interesting for me now is that because rather than it being a live production, it's getting put together in post. The real benefit to that is that I could say doxable things. And then it makes even more editing work for Tack. And that's just great. Knowing that I could just say his full address verbatim right now, and he'd have to go in and remember to edit it. It's awesome, the power I hold over him.
Problem.
Yeah, I probably won't. I'll probably forget is the biggest problem.
Damn.
God.
Nah.
Something's gonna happen.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Uh,
Let's not even mention doxable contacts like Phelan's phone number being 1241775.
Yep, that's a number.
It is a number. It could be yours.
That's
it could be
number
some
wang.
random. That's number wang. Oh, I missed that sort of comedy.
Oh, this is so fucking.
What was that show? That was David Mitchell and someone else, wasn't it?
Yeah, Webb. I forgot his first name.
Yes, Mitchell and Webb. Oh, that was
Robert Webb.
Jeremy was his first. No, I'm thinking of Peep Show. I know his. Okay.
Oh no, wasn't it same people as Peep Show? Was it Peep
It's
Show?
Robert Webb. It's Robert Webb. How many times do I have to say it? Robert Webb.
Oh no, I thought you were being jokey. That's a word.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, no, number one was great. Great bit of comedy right there.
Yeah, it was. You don't
Certainly
get things
something.
like that on TV anymore.
I'm
TV is just
complete. I've got a greenhouse.
A greenhouse.
very good.
So actually,
you
know,
don't get what we had.
let's just say this quickly, just so this makes sense for everybody watching at home. Cass, my beautiful girlfriend right now, is currently playing Stardew Valley. So if she randomly talks about ducks, duck eggs, eggs,
Oh, that's so
Duck
cute.
eggs, yeah.
Duck
they did
eggs.
the kitchen as well. Oh,
kitchens,
eggs.
or
Wear a
anything to do
little
with
hat on my
farming.
head.
this looks wholesome.
I have to. I might put in some screenshots if you want to take some screenshots of your farm, just so people get context.
No, not
Yes.
more. Remember your editing.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Is this why YouTube? I always want, like, there are certain YouTubers I understand, like, they upload like 50 times a day. I get why they like hire editors.
Oh,
And then there are people who upload like once a week. I'm like, why do you need an editor? Is it because they're all lazy?
Yeah.
Because they all can't be bothered. I can't remember.
Oh no. Because you're
I edited my own content.
Yeah, you're starting this content. Why don't you edit
shows.
anymore?
Oh, burnout.
That's fair. You uploaded like
That's
once a day.
No, God no.
How many did you make in your peak? Like when you were doing
Oh, at the peak, I was doing quite a few. I think it eventually went to once a week.
Was that during your best moments?
Yeah, but I did what I always did with college and uni and like secondary school stuff. I always did it like literally last minute as I possibly could.
Yeah.
I
still miss
not a
you.
good idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a solid strategy. I think doing things last minute, it
It's a
teaches
strategy.
you regret. And regret is a useful emotion to be acquainted with.
What the fucking problem is, I regretted my first few uni assignments that I submitted like literally at midnight, right? I was getting really stressed about it. Come next assignment, what'd I do? Oh, let me just upload it at midnight. Fucking dickhead. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Well, it's because you were so used to doing it in the YouTube algorithm that you just did it in the uni algorithm. You thought you might get better results if you uploaded it last minute.
I mean, I got through my course, so it counts.
It's very true. I got through none of my uni because I didn't start it. So you can't lose what you don't start.
You mostly got through college. I mean, you got through, what,
1 year?
2/3 of your college, technically.
What do you mean? I got through 1 year of IT and then 2 years of media. I completed my
that's
media
why I'm being
course.
generous and saying 2/3.
Wow. That's kind of rude, you know. I got a merit in media for that, thank you. That's going to get me very far in the world.
Ooh.
Yeah, well,
I
you'd
was
be
in some of
don't,
your
you know,
classes. Don't.
just be have solace in knowing that getting the highest possible grade in the course wouldn't have made any difference to your career opportunities either, friend.
Oh, I know.
That's the reality of reality of it all.
I can't even build a farm in Stardew Valley. I'm useless at it.
He's very bad at it.
I've been wanting to play it I bought it because I wanted to play it with someone, and I can't remember who.
Oh, you can join our farm.
Me now, Phelan.
Yeah, I bought it and was trying to play single player for a while, and I just sort of it did like with many games, I enjoyed it, but I just don't have time to get back to it.
Oh my god.
Well, wait, how many people can you have on a local server? No, sorry, not a server.
Amazing.
Is it 4?
Cool.
I have
that's
absolutely no
amazing.
idea.
Don't know.
Well,
You
there
can
you
have
go.
up to 4 players, I believe.
Oh, well, there you go.
This
That's
is
your
it.
answer.
I can only buy 4 cabins, but I'm pretty sure if you host your own one, like you've done one, and then you use that one as the local one, you can have as many as possible, I think. But it will get very
Right.
overcrowded.
Yeah.
But,
So-
if you're doing just a general local co-op, you can go about 4 players, and that's
This
starting a
sounds
brand
like
new
another
one
use for
all
Reese's
together at the same
servers.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
So, Charlie, you may have to cut this out, but I
fair. No, that is wonderful. And you know what? Talking about pets, I remember,
Yes.
this is going back a while now. This is a random comment, but I remember going back a while. You wanted rats at some point. Am I not wrong, Phelan?
I've wanted quite a few animals in my time. Rats I'm okay with. Rats are pretty fucking chill.
Is ferret one of them? Did you want a
Why
ferret?
not? These sort of animals, they're small, they're fluffy, they're fucking intelligent. They're not too bad to clean up after,
ferrets
and
are
I have
so
light
cute 'cause
experience
you can just
with
hold
rats.
them, and you can just go. And they wiggle.
You can
and they do a little
squeeze them. You know, like those toys that
can
you
wrap them
squeeze and
around
like
your
the
neck.
eyes bulge out. It's like that,
dance.
but fluffier.
They're so cute.
But yeah, I think the main problem with that sort of animal is, pet-wise, I don't want something that's confined to like a cage or a vivarium or that sort of thing. But if you let a rat out, 1, it's gonna just like get out of there. 2, it's gonna eat its way through like every single cable in my room and then escape.
It's
Assuming it
just
doesn't
out
get
of
electrocuted in the process. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're fucking good. They're just little bastards. They can be minesweepers. Not in the sense that like you throw them, that like they actually detect mines. Like they go up, they sniff it, and they're like, there's a mine there. They can lay cable. They can be very
Can't-
intelligent animals.
I mean,
was
that
gonna
is
say-
literally how bomb squads work. When a bomb is discovered at an airport and the bomb squad comes in, all they do is send rats in. All this shit you see in movies, red wire, blue wire, no
my
one
God.
cares. A rat just goes through it. Always choose the right one because they can never electrocute themselves. They never cause an explosion.
This
They're great.
sounds like I should make VR Minesweeper, but to like clear a square, you throw a rat or something.
I was going to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Bad
I
idea.
was thinking right or not, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe I was thinking of they would train him but never actually got to it. I thought when you were talking about rats being minesweepers, they trained them to like chew at the wires, but I feel like you can't train a rat to do it.
I would not
I wouldn't
want
risk
to chew
it.
at a wire in an explosive. Also, how would it get in?
Rats can get through anything.
They can't get through metal. Like
you'll
a
be
So the
secure
topic
metal
of
house.
I
discussing
think-
topics has officially gone out the window.
I think rats probably can
Good.
get through metal. Like I would say through like weaker metals, rats can probably get through fairly easily.
I don't. Landmines are made of weaker metals in most circumstances.
There must
I
be,
mean,
there's
if-
going to be testing on
no,
this.
no, because if you're making a landmine, right, it's got to do a few things. Number 1,
Yep.
detonate.
Yep.
So basically, it's going to have some sort of fragmentation inside it, right? And that's going to obviously need to get out from a metal casing. So you don't want the metal to be strong. You want the metal to be some shit aluminium or something,
No,
right?
you
It's just
want
going to tear apart.
No. What?
The casing,
God, no.
the fragmentation inside can be, made of titanium and
Oh,
death,
that
but
could be made for piss for all you care, but no, but it's not. Look, what's a claymore made of? They're fairly small.
C5, 4. Is it C4?
Yes, it's made
I'm not
entirely
sure-
of C4.
I'm not sure that's quite what he was getting at.
No.
Oh, we've lost the
Just
can.
gonna go let my dad know about tomorrow. See you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't get over the landmines have a few objectives. They have to explode. Anyway,
I mean, yeah, am I wrong?
no. They also have to be safe, I guess, and detonate on.
Be safe.
Like you don't want a landmine that will just go off whenever it wants to.
No, a landmine goes off when it detonates.
When it's
I mean, yeah.
yeah, you're not wrong, definition wise. Yes, I remember having this conversation with you about rats and just how clever what they can be trained for.
Rats are insane, yeah.
Yeah, better than
Little fellas
mice.
rise up.
Who was I was talking to someone about rats, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they've lived for thousands of years. That's why they're still around." I'm like, right? Where are you going with this point?
I mean that applies to half the fucking life forms on the planet.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Like,
The
do
dodo?
you know what? I think I should lick every single bit of raw chicken that has had absolutely zero checks for salmonella because salmonella's been around thousands of years. That stuff's good. That stuff is. Like, what?
The dodo lasted like 5 years.
True. First one was born like 1864, 1869. Oof.
Yeah. I think people forget how soon in history the dodo went extinct.
I think people forget how soon in history human civilization started.
That's true.
I mean, aren't we at like 1158 if you were to lay out, like,
Yeah.
if now was midnight and you were to lay out the history of, I don't know if it's Earth or the universe, I think of Earth specifically, in fact, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
We're at 11:58 p.m. That's when we were introduced. And we're still going, obviously, now at midnight.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Our clock system's going to be shit when we, like,
Our
die
clock
in
system
some
is
other
shit.
animal. Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's used in so many examples.
yeah, good little... How long we've been here.
I didn't realise that.
Nothing at
That's a good way of putting it, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, like...
I think that's right. I'm going to double check that. I feel like I should check it at least.
I mean, people, I do think generally with history, people forget that, like, human civilization moves very, very fast.
Does it?
But, like, you know, going back a couple hundred years ago doesn't, when you say a couple hundred years to someone, they go, oh, that's not that long, right? But if you actually were like, oh yeah, do you know what, like, period of time you'd have learnt about in history class 300 years ago is? They'd be like, what? I thought that was like 17 trillion billion years ago. Like, no, like, it was a couple weeks back, really. Like,
Yeah, the
you know,
information's still accurate.
we have advanced
Website.
very rapidly, especially in the past few centuries. It's been pretty insane, the sort of technological advantage that we've gone through.
And actually, that's a good way of thinking about that. Like, just looking at it as well. It's like if you said, look back 200 years at the 1800s, you know, you get a good example of the Victorian age, and a bit of the Midwest in America, the Western, sorry. And then if you go 200 years previous to that, 1600s, it's like a different world. Like,
Yeah.
like Napoleonic, wow, I can't speak.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, Jesus, that's just, and then obviously
Jesus was even further back. It's amazing.
It's 200 years before that. It's just weird to think, you know, what would the world be? It would be completely different in 200 years, or even in our lifetime. I feel like it would be completely different. Let's say down 80 years down the line, sort of ordeal.
Yeah, probably.
Which is pretty mental. You know, it's going to be the Matrix, and there's been a lot going on in the Matrix, to be honest, because
It's going to be the Matrix.
It's going to be the Matrix.
Is it?
Yes, because my transitions are just as good as Linus. Because, you know, The Matrix is coming out very soon. Looks like a pretty pog film. And,
Guys, this podcast is being recorded about a week before The Matrix comes out. It's the hit film of the 1990s. We are incredibly excited to see what they have in store for us. We've got some excellent actors. We've got some excellent writers. We've got some excellent directors. I am super excited for this film. Technology is wonderful. What is a payphone? Does anyone know what a phone is? A landline? I'm very confused.
What about UE5?
True.
Heard of that? That whole demo really just, I don't know, it just made me really uneasy, to be completely honest. I don't know what it was about it.
A minute of it, like, skipping through it. I'm not fast. I don't know. I mean,
It's-
had reflections.
Also,
that,
the thing I
but
found
beyond that,
funny
I don't
about it is there's plenty of moments where it dips below 30 frames a second, and they're like, "Oh, look at this technology." I found that extremely amusing.
know. True.
The thing is, it's like, "Oh, look at this amazing technology in UE5," and you know what? UE5 is really good, amazing, especially when it comes to smaller developers. But
Nice.
I don't know. That whole demo didn't really show it off well to me. I don't know what it is about it. It just didn't really spark, I don't know, much excitement for future games using UE5. It will be interesting to see what does come out of it. And if they were to ever expand upon this Matrix game, I don't know, they might just keep it a demo. But it was just weird, because you could clearly see from far back that Keanu Reeves was not real. But then when they did close-ups, it was very good. But the far, yeah, distant, it just looked really uncanny valley. It really, really messed with me. Apart from that, yeah, it's just interesting. UE5, great future. Epic are doing a great job on it. And be excited to see what comes out of it. What was that was because I remember a few things from the gaming awards. One of them being the Sonic trailer. Let's not even get started. And then we had the trailer for the Master Chief. For the Halo TV series, which looks is little we got information about it. It looks pretty pog. I'm glad. I don't think it's following Master Chief, but he's in it. That's all I can say about it. I haven't actually read into anything. I've literally just seen the teaser trailer and he's in it. I
had a quick look at that trailer for the Halo thing because you asked me what my thoughts were on it the other day. I don't get anything from it. But I'm sure it will be like a cool, good series, but there's just not really much show.
I think, yeah,
and I get that it's a teaser more than like a trailer sort of thing, but still.
I don't know what storyline they're going off, or what storylines they're going off, sorry. I don't know if it's going to be based off the games. Yeah, I think it's based off the books, looking at it.
I don't think it'll be games, yeah.
I think it's books.
It'll either be books or a new story, or like a sort of in-between mix of...
Yeah, connecting them maybe.
I've not read any of the books. I know excerpts from them, so I'd be pretty happy if that was the case. I'll give it a watch, probably.
Yeah. Oh, it depends on how you watch it, because it's Paramount Plus, and I don't know if that's going to be like Apple, where you have to pay separately to see it.
I'll watch it legally.
Good luck. Again, I don't know how well
VPN
Paramount Plus is.
This podcast brought to you by VPN.com.
Oh, I wish. This podcast brought to you by Sponsor X.
Tom Scott turned us down. Can you believe it? Let's title it. Let's make this... No. That's what this podcast's doing. It's a call-out post. Tom Scott. What the fuck, dude?
We love your work. Your newest video...
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
You're funny. Intelligent.
You're handsome.
You wear a red
I'm
shirt.
glad that you've left Matt in the dust after that video he released.
True.
What's it? Citation Needed.
By
is a
not
great
coming
show.
on this.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a well-organized podcast, the sort of thing that you could be a part of, Tom.
And make.
Well, you could have been. Your chance is gone. We don't want you.
I would like to make it clear that these two are bullying me right now. I've made it adamantly clear in private to both of them that I was made slightly uncomfortable by a certain member here contacting Tom Scott. Not to any major degree, don't worry, but you know, it to me it just makes me feel a little cringe in a sense, because I respect what Tom does, right? And I have the self-respect to recognize that what we do isn't a good fit for him, right? And it feels, I do know that pretty clearly, and henceforth it feels a bit weird to make someone at his team, you know, waste their time even for a couple seconds, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable to be associated with that.
Multiple minutes. And like burn his fingers.
But that was
think he'd come on here?
that
was in a different era. That was his uni radio era. I mean, you know, come on.
In my defense, I wasn't aware of this.
It's still good.
True.
I wasn't made aware of this feeling uncomfortable.
I can confirm for a fact I have said it to you in voice.
You may have said it.
Whether you acknowledged it is a different question.
True. Just quickly, it turns out VPN.com is real, so I should be very clear there is no sponsorship.
I would like to clarify for legal that this podcast has not engaged in any form of business dealings or sponsorships with VPN.com as a service.
Money from anyone.
No.
However, if VPN.com would like to sponsor this podcast,
you're more than welcome to email me.
Twitch.tv/tacticaltv.
Yes, or go over and check out Delicious Twitch. TTV.
Good luck donating through there.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I fucked that already up. Twitch.tv/delicious Twitch. That is DLICIOSTWITCH.
Very weird. Yeah, no, Tom could expand his horizons, though. We would not be the worst thing he's done.
Tom's a busy man.
Very
I don't
true.
think he has the ability to expand his horizon.
He has an hour free for us. He doesn't. But
I mean,
he could have had an hour free.
we
for
could
us.
settle for Gary Brannon.
Oh yes,
we-
I would love Gary Brannon on
Okay.
the show.
He's active on Twitter.
True.
You know, I
He's
could get in contact
funny.
with Gary. He's
Ah,
great.
I
Gary's
mean-
awesome.
All
We could
everybody
say-
on Citation Needed.
Would you
Everybody
like
on their
to one
their
Technical
show.
difficulties are great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I know
Big,
the
big
show.
fan you
Yeah.
are.
We
Yeah, I'm a
offer him
big
a
fan
chance
of the
to
show.
one-up Tom. He's going to take it. Okay.
What if I
marketing
try and buy
strategy.
the most expensive
contact.
stamp? Do you think he'll get on the show if I did that?
Yeah, that's all we need. We need a stamp with a history, and we can be like, the Germans tried to bomb this stamp in 1923
Specifically
because
this
they thought it was the Queen's Post or something. That's how we get Tom on.
Oh my god, that would be
We're gonna make Tom rue the day though, or at least I am.
okay.
We're gonna make this podcast so interesting, so
Do you know what we should do?
well known, so upbeat. Go on.
We should rename. Flip it. It's not Tom's brand. We need to rename this podcast to the
Okay.
word for podcast in 6 different languages consecutively.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Congregation of Kings, but
I was
no,
gonna.
that's-
I thought you were gonna say the Tom Scott podcast.
Oh my god.
just
Just paging Tom Scott the podcast.
every podcast is just asking him to come on until he comes on.
I mean, that works nowadays. It's the scary
Oh,
thing.
it does.
Not with Tom.
Yeah, well, but also, let's face it, Tom, he's a person too, right?
I
He's
thought that
not
was a
gonna
very
appreciate
smooth
it.
segue.
Yeah.
There's going to be copyright issues here. Tom Scott with 1 T, just so he can't come after us.
That's true. Yeah.
'Cause-
Or
'cause
Tom Scott with 2 M's.
He'll get jealous. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Tom Scott. There you
Also,
go.
I think we should form a business. I think our podcast is getting to the size now we need to form a legal corporate entity here. Can we call it Pad Thai 26 Limited?
Yes, a joke I definitely understand.
Yep. See, big fan of Tom Scott. You are.
Yep. I've watched half of his content. But I love the man.
You know what will make him jealous, and I think we should do? Get a Xiaomi sponsorship.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think we should pivot.
There's only one
Okay.
company that I've asked for a sponsorship
I-
before.
I think we should move away from Tom Scott,
Yes.
and we
Okay.
should pivot to Hideo Kojima.
No.
Because I genuinely think we are more likely to be able to get Hideo Kojima on the podcast than Tom Scott.
And why is that?
Ooh, that's an
Because
interesting-
I think that Tom Scott is an incredibly lovely person that would genuinely, with his warmest wishes, mean well and wish us the best. But he's busy; it wouldn't have the time. Hideo Kojima isn't busy, as far as we can tell, judging by his Twitter. He's just Kojima doing whatever Kojima's doing at the moment, which is evidently making director's cut of Death
You're-
Stranding. You know, if he's got time to do Death Stranding, he's got time to be on our
Genius,
podcast.
but not for the reason you think. And here's why.
It's like one of those videos.
I don't care about what people think they can kill a rat like with no weapons, or who can kill a bear with no weapons. I care about who people think we could get on the podcast. That's what I want a survey of.
Okay, yeah.
Minor known celebrities to celebrities in like the game market that are vaguely related to us, whether people we know that have subscribers or are like big, like Hideo Kojima. Could we get on? What are the percentages here? And we go through that list.
And to be clear, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying that I could DM
when
Hideo
Tom-
Kojima now and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm coming on." I mean, with a campaign, with a goal of getting Hideo Kojima on the podcast, I think we'd have more chances with him than we would Tom Scott.
True.
I
I love Hideo Kojima, but Tom Scott has dignity and he wants to keep it. I think Hideo Kojima would do a lot.
Okay, I was gonna. We get to the point because that was a very weird place for you to cut off there. Welcome back. We get to the point. Tom Scott finally like I don't. We've had the Queen on before we've had Tom Scott for all I
That would be
care.
a podcast and a half. That would.
Yeah, right. Tom Scott's like, okay, guys, I can make it. I'll make the time for you guys. You're clearly big, and we say no. That's it. Tom's out. That's the new plan. He had his chance. He's blown it.
And then when no, and then when we said no to him, we then changed the podcast name to the Tom Scott Podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
Honestly, no, I've asked a couple of people that come on, bigger names than
Peps?
I've I have felt confident asking. Keps was one of them, but I've known Keps for a while, and he's a good mate of
Toby?
mine. Toby's also a wonderful lad, and that was wonderful. That was a great podcast. Maxim I've asked as well, but unfortunately the timers haven't worked out. That will be a future one anyway.
He's been on, unfortunately.
T was a great one. I asked a dev, because I was getting along with them for a little bit, for due process. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it / didn't answer.
I
And
could probably get a game dev on if you want.
yeah, that would be a great podcast. A great
I mean,
guest.
not genuinely. Like, if you want me to, I will get in contact with these people.
I would love to get all sorts of guests on. Sponsorships wise, the most successful one I've had, which didn't go through, but I felt like it was the most realistic sponsorship I could have got, and I wish I had the information I know today when I actually emailed them, is a smaller company known as KZ. They make earphones, the earphones I wear every day. Genuinely some of my favourite IEMs. And they seemed quite, quite confident that they wouldn't mind sponsoring people, because they again, they're a smaller company. They don't have a partner program. I might actually get back in contact with them and see if they're doing anything at the moment, because they make, again, great products, and they seem like a great team. So I might get in contact with them. But yeah, KZ, I highly recommend their earphones. Genuinely some of the best in-ear monitors, in my opinion, on the market for the price. There are plenty of other good competitors.
And you know they're good because he puts them on so you can ignore me when I'm talking.
No,
That's good.
it's because I'm at work and I have to get through a very harsh day of cutting chips.
So difficult.
I know, it's extremely difficult. It's the hardest job of them all. I actually wear them to ignore everybody else in the shop, but that isn't you. All
Well,
the
you've ignored me a
customers.
few times.
I can't
No.
believe you'd be allowed that. Or
Yeah, I'm one of the only ones allowed to wear earphones because I'm
What?
loyal.
what?
You are objectively, mathematically paid less than some of your co-workers
Yes.
for more
Yeah.
work, though. So
Yeah.
I have to give you some concession.
I am paid silly amounts less than some people for the more work I do. Great. Yeah, no, sponsorships. I would love, you know what, sponsorships, I've known, actually, there's a content creator that I'm not going to name, but their channel has gone through some wild rides recently, because I was watching them a couple months, let's say a month back, maybe 2 weeks. Their channel was 1.8k followers. I checked last week,
Right.
they were 800k, so I was like, okay, maybe they did get follower botted and they fixed the issue, so they got rid of all the bots. And I come back this week and they're at 1.6k. And I'm like, what's going on with this guy? Like, I don't understand genuinely how that's fluctuated that much. But good for them, because they're currently they're on a sponsorship. They've got a sponsorship, and they're doing somewhat well for themselves. So, congratulations to them. But I just thought, how has their channel fluctuated that much in followers? And nobody's questioned it. Like, as far as I'm aware, I know you shouldn't question it, but like, it just seemed a bit odd. Personally, it just seemed really odd.
Yeah, I mean,
Going from
I've
1.8
always...
to 800 to 1.6. Like, I went from 7k to 200 because I got follower
I
botted.
went from 200 to 183. So,
Yeah.
Oh, I know, it's a shit show. No, 88, isn't it?
God, is it? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm 181 and you
You
were
got one the other
188.
day.
So, I'm catching. You were going to say, Alfie?
It is funny.
I was gonna make a joke. You absolutely baited me there. I mean, hook, line, and sinker. I was gonna make a joke about you getting follower botted. I was gonna say, "Oh, I've always monitored your follows, Charles." And I have to say, there was this really suspicious time, and it's gonna be very funny. And then you just immediately brought it up, casually. I can't even make the joke anymore. I mean, it's just sad,
Oh, that was a
Ruin it.
bad day. I was playing Resident Evil as well. It was the first time I'd ever touched the game. A great game, still haven't completed it. And got follower botted 7k followers. That was great fun. But that was a weird, like, it's such a big number to get followed by for such a small channel. Most
Yeah.
people I see get followed
Yeah.
by is in the hundreds, maybe max 5,000. That just seemed really odd. But I fixed it after a week. Funnily enough, it was Keps. Keps was the one who told me about the is it Commander Root, who does a lot of the dev
Yeah, Commander Root
tools.
makes quite a lot of tools for Twitch.
Yeah. So again, big shout out to Kevs. Go check him out. He's almost at 8K followers, which is pretty lit. But yeah, no. In other news, in better news, in good news, a lot, and I mean a lot of money has been raised with Thanksmas. Tons of content creators this year. Yogscast, I think, is one of the biggest examples. But I saw Jacksepticeye raised, I think, 1.7 million.
It was quite funny because he did one with Mark, and then whatever money they'd raised at a certain point, Mark had to donate that or more,
Oh,
and they
God.
got to 93 grand, and Mark was going, okay, and he ended up donating 100 grand.
Jeez.
And he was like, I promised, I kept my word, I promised, I did what, I am a man of my words. And it was wholesome.
No, it's insane. Yeah, they raised a shit ton of money. Yogscast what out. Anyway, let's carry on that. Let's go in a nice circle. So we'll start with. We know Delicious is obviously Sony. Agent Oink.
Superior Sony.
Yes.
I don't think there's any specific company
Pringles.
I would choose. Like, there's not like a company I would name as like my ideal sponsor. Like for me, if I was to be sponsored, or like, you know, the podcast was sponsored, I'd obviously want it to be with a company I actually believe in terms of the product that they make. I wouldn't want like
The
Epic
Bible.
Secure VPN that's totally epic.com to be like supporting us, and they're just like clearly just like providing all of their fucking logs over to the FBI or whatever.
That doesn't include VPI. Was it VPN.com?
VPN.com, you know, they're okay. We love you, VPN.com. Please hit us up.
VPN.co.uk seems to be available if anyone wants to buy them at the moment.
But yeah, I mean, for me, it would just be a good company that's ethical, it has good carbon record, that sort of thing would be my priority. But there's a few and far between, so I would highly unlikely imagine that they'd be a sponsor availability.
And fair. You know what? That's actually quite reasonable.
Although I
serious
do
answer.
think, you know, sometimes you have to accept, living in capitalism, that you have to play the system, right? As much as you might not want to, it's fair enough if you have to play the system. So Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, I'd happily take a couple 100,000 a year. That would do us all, every possible guest on the podcast. I think we'd all be fine with that. Send us it over.
I'll take 10k a year. And
Jeff-
Of the rest of Charlie's 100 then.
wow. And what about yourself, Cass?
Hmm?
Well, if there was a company that you would like to sponsor us, basically, either give us money or free shit to promote their stuff, have you got one that you would like to be sponsored by?
I don't know. I don't tend to do much, like, sponsoring or thinking of sponsors, to be fair. Not like you guys. So I don't really know any specific brand that would...
Is there any free stuff that you wouldn't mind having?
Headphones would be nice, I guess, because I'm always bloody breaking them, so...
Fair. I didn't expect
Um,
the serious answers, to be honest, apart from Delicious.
Okay.
I mean, who
don't
did you just want me to say? Did you just want me to say that I would like to be sponsored by the fantasy dildo company Bad Dragon, based in Phoenix, Arizona? Because I wouldn't be against that sponsorship, but I imagine it wouldn't fit with your brand identity.
I wouldn't mind.
Fair enough.
Oh, there we go.
You know, all right, I'll hit them up.
Go on, then.
I reckon we could get Bad Dragon before we get Tom Scott.
We can get Tom Scott to get sponsored.
We can trial them out.
Oh, damn. I was, for one, I'm more confused. Wait, shall we make food?
Xiaomi absolutely makes some food-related products.
Help me make everything.
Fair. Genuinely, my two go-to sponsors are always either Sneak or Pringles. I would love.
So I would like you to know that not only does Xiaomi make food-related products, they have a food section on their website, and they make cranberry paste almost exclusively, and a couple bits of blueberry paste. But yes, Xiaomi make food.
Cowberry paste. What the fuck?
Oh, I didn't even. I just thought that was more cranberry. I misread it twice.
Yeah, me too.
That is.
What the
Wow.
fuck is?
I mean, Xiaomi make pets. Like, you go up a section in their categories. You got toys, clothing, food, and then just pets. Like, I could just create pets with Xiaomi.
True.
Okay. Not what I expected. Completely honest. Xiaomi, just stop. Okay. Stop putting microchips in pets or
It's a
whatever.
Xiaomi webcam, and by that I mean it's a Xiaomi phone. But you know.
Does it work?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yes.
Wise. Probably anyone that does any like facial skin stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about that. Sorry.
L'Oreal.
You'll be happy to know that
That's still...
that Xiaomi posted a news article at the end of November that reads, "Smart Pet Companion Ball. Your pet will not be bored." Thank you, Xiaomi.
Well, there you go. Keeping your pets not bored.
It would evidently seem so.
They're tracking your
What
pets
more
so
do you
they can eventually use them.
Fine by me. God, maybe I could buy like a smart dog tag and I'll take my dog. Who knows?
Oh, this beautiful bit of editing right here. I don't even have to edit now. That is
Exactly.
phenomenal.
That is pretty good, to be fair.
The toy is powered by a 300 milliamp hour battery. Charging takes place via a USB Type-C cable. The ball is made of strong and durable ABS material, and the tail is made of soft and durable PVC, so he wouldn't be afraid the toy will be bitten. Word for word,
my
their
fears
press
are gone.
release.
That is outstanding. Jesus, wow. Xiaomi, just stop it, okay? When are they gonna make a fucking? When are they gonna make a web shooter? And talking about web shooters, you see, I'm professional at this. Spider-Man
shit.
comes out this week, and
Wow, that's probably good. Okay.
I know.
I'm going to be entirely honest. The phrase web shooter only envisioned Unity web FPS games in my head. I just thought you were on about Flash FPS games or something.
I'm glad
like-
that's what happened in your head.
That's what I think we should transition to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it matters at this point. We go wherever the flow takes us.
Well,
Anyway, yes, you were saying Spider-Man shoots webs.
Shoots
He's a
webs.
web shooter.
Actually, this is a good question. I know nobody gives a shit about, but here's a good question. Do we prefer the Spider-Man that makes web shooters, that he has to use, artificial fluid that he develops to
Alright,
make
pretty much it.
the webs, or do we
Oh,
prefer the Spider-Man that he just makes webs inside his body and shoots them out of his wrists?
Spider-Man in my world, Spider-Man makes web inside his body. He has glands in probably somewhere between his legs, and it produces a white viscous sticky substance that forms a web and shoots and gets stuck all over his hands, and he sort of shoots it out and gets it on people and on webs and on things and on buildings and stuff.
Right.
That's my sort of Spider-Man, yeah.
This is going to turn into a pretty much it call out. The idea that they think a tech upgrade is somehow less believable than someone with glands inside them that shoot out spiderweb is ridiculous.
I'm assuming you saw the most recent. It's pretty much
Yes, I
it.
saw the most
And
recent
it
video.
really
And
pissed me off.
It's a difficult question. That's a good question. Which one?
Damn it, you've seen it, so you literally know where I stole the question from.
Yeah, no, well, I know. I called you out.
I mean, for me, like not that I'm trying to
I
influence
think
your
the
answer
tech
too
stuff
heavily.
gives you more places to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
And
a
it's
reasonable
more-
take.
I'd say it's more realistic. That doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? It's a
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
That's what I was going to say. I think superheroes should be stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a huge superhero person, but I think they should be fucking stupid as shit. They should make absolutely no sense. They should have no basis in reality. And like,
Super overpowered.
Being worried about like, oh, is that realistic? It's like, it's a fucking superhero. What are you on about? Superman can just like go around and let his fucking nephew die 6 times because he wants to fuck a woman. Like, that's all Superman is. Like, it's perfectly reasonable.
That's why I think the boys did really well at that. Kind of just like a take on superheroes are stupidly overpowered and they could do whatever the fuck they want, and it just also the corrupt side of it, but it just showed that, you know, like the equivalent of Superman, he could just quite literally wipe out the entirety of humanity if he wanted to, but he doesn't. But he could quite easily. Just nothing stopping him. It's an interesting one. The whole, I know you brought it up now. The whole "it's pretty much it" video on this. The thing that I don't know. Obviously, everybody has their own takes on it, and I'm a Marvel fan, so I've been watching it for a while. So maybe I'm coming from the like it's a bit unfair. I'm a bit biased. There we go. But them saying that Iron Man ruins the film, I thought was unfair.
Yeah.
I can understand where they're coming from, but I don't think it ruined the film in any way, shape, or form. It's just a different dynamic than the Raimi series or the whoever directed the Andrew Garfield ones, because I can't remember. Then let's just talk about Andrew Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, probably the worst.
But I would personally argue that I think any film other than Iron Man 1 that featured Iron Man was in some way lessened in value by the featuring of Iron Man. Not necessarily by a significant amount, but I think that's a true statement.
I think Endgame's one of his best performances.
Really?
Yeah.
My hot take on Marvel films is that I think Endgame is one of the worst Marvel films. I put 4-2 above Endgame.
I would say it's one of the worst Marvel films because I can't actually remember what happens in it until the last fight.
But it was very...
Oh no, I remember it now.
It was very boring. Not nothing. Like it didn't really do anything for me. Like Infinity War was good. I liked Infinity War, but Endgame was... It just was kind of shit. I mean, I watched it like a good couple years or something after it came out because I never got around to it originally. And I was excited because, you know, people obviously hyped it up, all the memes and so on, right? But honestly, I was really disappointed with that movie. I was just like, yeah, this could have been a lot more interesting, but it just wasn't.
I think a lot of their more recent films are doing well. Like, Shang-Chi was good.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm hoping Spider-Man's really good. Most of their TV's alright. Nighthawk, his name's not Nighthawk, what am I thinking of? Hawkeye is probably their worst show to date.
Eagle Vision.
Yeah. It's a good show, but I don't know. I'm just not vibing with it at the moment. WandaVision was a good show, but I think it's a little overhyped. I really liked Loki. Captain, what was it? Fuck, what's the other one called?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
That one. That was alright. Again, nothing too outstanding.
I've seen it.
I think the last episode was a bit too on the nose, but I think it was good anyway. And the What If series, that was pretty fun. That was just like what if, quite literally, just having a laugh sort of thing. Yeah, Marvel TV's doing alright. I can understand the whole hate of you have to go through the intro every single time, but I enjoy the intro, so, you know, fuck it.
Yeah, the Hawkeye intro is pretty bad compared to the others.
Oh, it's super long and it's just really dull, in my opinion. Super, super dull.
Yeah.
Nothing special about it. The music
but
to it is... Yeah.
That suits the character, though. Just really dull and nothing special about it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they play any more on the fact that he's hard of hearing, because they've done that in the first 3 episodes we've seen. Sorry, they've played that into quite a bit of his new character, or character development, I should say. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. Genuinely, it looks like it's just going to be a fun film to watch. It's going to have some interesting moments for the fans. Hopefully, you never know. Probably there's no Spider-Man in it, but who knows? Marvel do fucking all sorts with their trailers these days. And it'd be interesting to see if it plays into Multiverse of Madness. A film I'm genuinely interested in to see is the new Thor, because obviously it's directed by Taika Waititi. Him, who is a fantastic director and actor. I think his acting is underrated, personally.
You're a big fan of him, yeah.
I love him in What We Do in the Shadows. A great film. They've made a British show and it looks horrifically trash, but I haven't seen it yet. And then again, I'm a huge fan of like smaller directors like Taika Waititi. He's now mainstream because of stuff like 4, and I would say Jojo Rabbit's made him quite big potentially. I don't know if anybody would agree with that on that. Apparently a good film, haven't seen it yet. But what's his name? Edgar Wright, still one of my favourite directors of all time. His newest film looks alright, not my cup of tea though. I can't remember what it's called now. If anybody knows off the top of their head, that would be ideal.
Nope.
Cool. Nope. I think it's Night in Soho.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard good reviews from it, but it doesn't look like my cup of tea. It's got Matt Smith and another actress. I can't remember.
Mixed reviews, but that's specifically from people who went and saw it. Sort of thing, like that I know, rather than like I don't know how it reviewed with critics.
The thing with Edgar Wright.
Critics. I'll say this: I am someone that on this podcast has come out avidly and said I hate movies. I have literally gone and said that I think movies are awful generally. I think they're much worse than a lot of other formats of media. I will still say movie critics are just shit. Movie critics, there's a way you can be critical of a movie. I can watch any movie and I can be critical of it from an analytical perspective. I can be critical of the cinematography, the direction, the writing, the prop. I can be any aspect of it you can criticize. But that's completely different and separate to the experience of watching a movie. And that's where I draw the problem for me. Like I can look at a movie and go, yeah, that could have been done better, or that looks a bit shit, or whatever. But that can contribute both negatively and positively towards the experience watching it. Something can be done really well, like you could have the best fucking CGI team make some incredibly awesome visual effects sequence, and that could take away from the movie, right? That movie might be more entertaining to watch, more enjoyable for a group of people to watch if it was shitter. And that's not always the case. It's an incredibly subjective thing on a movie-by-movie basis. But it does annoy me when movie critics look at a thing and go, oh, yeah, well, this could have been better. The writing wasn't very good in this area. And it's like, but sometimes that can be a good thing for the watching experience. And don't get me wrong, I think being critical in a sense is a valid thing to do. But when it's associated as like, when movie criticism is taken as like this thing you should pay attention to in forms of reviewing movies, in decision making whether you should watch, that I disagree with, right? Like I think Halloween 2018 is a great movie, but it received it received a good response, but there was some criticism of it. But I think a lot of that criticism didn't sort of recognize that movie was just an incredibly enjoyable thing to watch if you're a Halloween fan, right? And that's less so with the new one, whatever the fuck it was called, Halloween Kills, which I still haven't seen, but I heard that was a lot more filler and so on. That even a lot of the fans were like, this is a bit, we're dragging it on now and stuff, which sucked. But it does annoy me when people sort of, you can criticize a movie for its actual, objective form, but that's still completely different to the enjoyment of watching it.
Yeah.
I had to go on a rant about that because it really pisses me off.
No, that's fair. Because
I mean, I know that there are some critics you respect out there, though, like CinemaSins. I know you think that works, quality and consistent, and they always do their research with this sort of.
Yep, I love CinemaSins. I'll go on record right now. I love CinemaSins. Woo, CinemaSins. I fucking hate CinemaSins. I genuinely despise their entire existence. Not for what they do. What CinemaSins do is objectively fine. Right? If I was to do the movie critic review of CinemaSins, I'd say, comedy's not going to be for everyone, blah, 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 but it's all right. But the problem with CinemaSins is every single person that watches CinemaSins, people that talk about CinemaSins, the fact CinemaSins exists so people can talk about it, because people just constantly criticize things in a movie. People that haven't watched a movie, when you bring up that movie and it's a movie you personally enjoy, go, oh, but this plot point didn't make sense because it was said in a CinemaSins video when the CinemaSins video didn't understand the plot. Like it, which is partly part of the CinemaSins video sometimes. And it's like, that's the problem I have with CinemaSins. It drives me mad because you're trying to just enjoy something that you enjoy. and some random tossers like, did you know that this is how it was? Because I saw some guy called Dave said it on a YouTube video, and then he didn't understand this piece of source material at all because he didn't bother to fucking read it. Like, oh, it drives me mad.
Yeah.
Someone's eating an apple right now. Ding.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Yeah, no, all I was going to say before we went on that rant was I think a lot of Edgar Wright's work is very mixed. All of his work. The only thing I can think of would probably be Hot Fuzz. I think a lot of people really like Hot Fuzz, which I think is one of his...
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good film, but it's not one I've enjoyed.
I think Hot Fuzz is
No,
overrated.
well, you're wrong.
Everybody thinks... I love Shaun of the Dead, but everybody says that's overrated. But that's just how art works, isn't it?
Was definitely worst of those three.
World's End. No, World's End is the worst.
Is it World's End or Land's End?
World's-
It's World's End.
World's
isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
The World's End is
I don't
the
know if I
worst.
prefer Hot Fuzz or Shaun Dead.
I also
prefer
think
Shaun of the Dead.
fetishism is an interesting thing to explore in movie direction. I mean, Quentin Tarantino famously,
Loves
big
his
foot
feet.
fetishist.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me when things like that spread into media. Like it's a bit of a like. It sounds like a joke, but I'm fully serious. Like there is times when like X individual person involved in the thing like leads into thing happening, and it just creates weird things that you can sort of notice in movies and trends and stuff. It's like an interesting thing. It happens in music a lot as well. Someone's into like one specific thing and they sample it all the time, right, across like hundreds of songs, and it's like. It's a weird thing, like how sometimes like that like one thing can influence so much at once.
Yeah.
Notably feet in Tarantino's case.
Yeah, Tarantino loves his feet.
Was it Tarantino whose films was it that I didn't like?
Tarantino you've
Try
ranted
to
about
remember.
before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you like Inglourious
Yeah, it
Bastards?
was Hateful Eight most.
Hateful Eight, I think,
recently,
is
but I didn't like it.
overrated.
Inglourious was okay.
One of my
It was
favourite films from him.
inconsistent.
That's the thing
I
with all
think,
of Tarantino's work is they've all got storylines that just take
They
place
sure
in different
do.
times. Like Pulp Fiction has 3 different storylines that all have different
When's he said one in
times.
2021, man?
Or so Pulp Fiction, a great example is there's a main storyline which starts from the end of that storyline, then it gets into the second storyline, then it goes to the third storyline, and then goes back to the first storyline. But none of that is told in a way that makes sense. It's an interesting film. Reservoir Dogs, his first film, is I think the only one that makes sense. And a cult classic nonetheless. I don't know, Tarantino. I think Tarantino. I like Tarantino as a person because he does a lot of stuff for smaller directors, smaller filmmakers, which is great. He regularly shows them in his theatres that he owns to crowds of people that and people like business insiders, which I think is a wonderful thing. Questionable when it comes to interviews, but he's just an awkward human being, and. I don't know. I like some of his work, Inglourious Basterds being one of them. I don't know why, but I was thinking of Inglourious Basterds. All I could keep thinking of was Brad Pitt, who's in Inglourious Basterds, who's also in Fury. That's a great film. Couldn't tell you who the director is, though.
Oh God.
Because
I
I'm
don't
curious,
really-
are they doing it? Have they made another film? I can't think of the director's name. They probably have.
I'm not good when it comes to film cast things, be it actors or directors or producers or dick suckers or best boys or whatever.
It was David Ayer. Oh, him. Suicide Squad guy.
Oh.
He directed Suicide Squad, the bad one, if I'm not wrong. Give you a minute.
Well, wasn't the good one, because that was by this guy's name I do know. Give me a sec.
Oh, James Gunn.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, he did Fury,
Give
then
me a sec.
Suicide Squad, and then End of Watch, which is an alright film.
Oh, he did Birds of Prey. Okay.
He did Bright, that explains it. The Netflix show that everybody hated on for some reason I can't remember.
He did the first Fast and Furious movie? What the fuck?
Wait, he
Did
did?
he do any of the...
Did he? Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Well, there you go. He's a fellow who's done a bit.
Yeah, well, Fury was, I would say, definitely up there with one of his best pieces of work. Like, it is just a phenomenal film, in my opinion. A great war flick.
You'll need to watch that T-34 film with you.
Yes, that Russian T-34 film, which looks actually pretty pog. I don't think there's like a single word said in it. No.
Yeah, it's all sign language. Doesn't work well on a tank.
That's literally half of the new Hawkeye. Oh man, yeah, Fury's a great film. A little depressing, but a great film. I feel sorry for Shia LaBeouf. Never washed since like the whole of that production. I feel sorry for him and his co-stars. God, he's a character and a half. That is why you shouldn't give children that much money or put them in front of that many people. So is Macaulay Culkin. Actually, has anybody seen the new Home Alone?
No, is that out yet?
Yeah, that came out
Oh god.
like a month ago now.
I guess yeah, it must have come out before Christmas.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything good. I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm assuming it's just pure trash. But
I can't imagine it was great.
I know. Is it Biff? No, not Biff. Who's his bigger brother that bullies him?
Get to begin with B.
Is it Biff? No, Biff's from. Biff's from
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, yeah. Which is also a cult classic. The director of Back to the Future, made some absolute poggers films. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Who Framed Roger
Buzz.
Rabbit? Buzz, that's
Buzz,
it.
isn't it?
That's
So
a
yeah,
great
began
film.
with B.
Who's seen Who's Framed Roger Rabbit?
I have.
Yeah.
That is a great film. And the fact that he did that and then Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, genuinely amazing films. What did he do after that? I'm going to have to thank our sponsor today, Dr. Disrespect. No, Dr. Disillusion. Got there eventually.
Doctor Who.
Close enough. Close enough. You know, Captain Who and Doctor Disillusion.
Captain Who? That just sounds like a dodgy.
Yeah, Doctor Disillusion sounds perfectly non-dodgy.
Yeah, right.
Honestly. Oh, fuck. Who directed it now? Oh, I'm going to have to find out quickly. That's it. Robert Zemeckis. What else did he do? He is also a great director. Highly recommend all of his work. Don't know why this has become a film podcast. He did Forrest Gump?
I think
Wasn't
mostly...
anything.
Yeah, mostly because you have film knowledge and you're a host.
College did good for me.
It's true. I was thinking of saying this earlier. You know, you can criticize your degree all you want, but effectively, how it works is that me and Phelan don't know who the fuck directed any movies. We don't remember movie directors' names because we don't care. Partly as well, but
Wow.
you know. We can pull up a random movie and be like, who played this movie? And you're like, I've watched it 6 times and I can name the director's 6 children. Like, it's great.
Look, there's only one film I've watched 6 times in a row, and that is Scott Manley. Nope, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I get that wrong every single time.
Scott
That's
Manley. That'll be it.
A very different film.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that is a great film. I literally lived my life like that
I've
film.
not seen that one.
You still
Can't
haven't
believe that
seen
he
it.
got rejected for the new round of astronauts.
I know, it's really upsetting. Either way,
Tom Scott couldn't make it as an astronaut.
God. Right, we're cutting it there. That is. You know what? This is going to be a shorter episode. I'm going to aim to stop them around an hour and a half. Because why not? We're changing it all up, and I don't want
This
you.
is just lazy for your editing, isn't
I
it?
just don't want you dissing Doctor Disrespect. Tom Scott anymore. Okay, no more Tom Scott.
But
disrespect.
those aren't even similar.
That-
Like,
that-
one's banned from Twitch, one isn't. You know,
The other
we
one's
can't even
banned from
talk
our
about this.
podcast specifically.
we literally, by the Twitch terms of service, are not allowed to talk about the fact you made that slip up on the Twitch.tv website. I mean, what are you doing to us?
I didn't, for one. It's not going on Twitch too.
That's what I'm saying. We're not allowed, we
Oh.
can't joke about the fact this happened in the podcast recording. We can't even bring it up. You've got the perfect cover.
Yeah, I do. So, as always, is there anything you wanna say as we end this podcast?
Fuck Tom Scott.
Fuck Tom Scott. Okay.
I love you, Tom Scott.
I'm sorry, Tom Scott, is what I want to say.
It's very fair.
And what about you, Cass?
I'm bored.
Wonderful. I'm glad we all had this podcast. As always, I'm glad we all had this talk. Pretty sure this is a podcast we've had 7 times in the past. But it's good to have
we
you two.
spoke about a lot of this in the past.
Yeah, I'm glad you two could go back on that, and I'm glad we
Hell yeah.
finally able to get back into them. So yeah, we'll be doing more of these. I'm probably going to try and get at least 2 pre-done, so I got time to record more and edit them. So God knows when this goes up, probably next year. But no, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And yeah. Don't forget, you can check this podcast out everywhere. Literally, it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and a bunch of other places. Breaker. Those are the ones that come to my head. If you want a week early access to this or any of my other content, do subscribe to my channel. Give all of these wonderful folks a follow anywhere on their socials. Delicious Twitch, Agent Oink, and Melody Manor.
Don't follow me.
I'll bleep that out then. And and it's been an absolute pleasure as always. So yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Monkey.